the interception for the Churchill Chargers. Nice catch. He was caught it off balance there, Coach. Here's the instant replay. The pass, quick look-in pass, and Eichler makes an outstanding play.
Yes, you can see Eichler's job is to move to the outside and cover up that flat area. They tried to get 4 deep against the 3 deep zone at Churchill.
So they are at the Churchill 46-yard line, and outstanding opportunity for the Chargers right off the bat.
Power sweep.
Defense, Judson defense still looking strong. Arnold Baker again, there he is, number 83 in on the tackle, the nose guard.
David Baker trying to go over Baker once again, George.
I think we're going to see that confrontation a lot this afternoon.
Another loss of a yard for the Chargers early on.
So it will be 2nd down and 11 now from the 45. McCampbell in at quarterback. They will alternate sometime with Mark Homelander in passing situations. Baker again. Boy, the Judson defense looks strong.
Well, they talk about Churchill's defense being a swarming type, but on this, in the early minutes of this one, it appears that Judson has the same type of defensive machine.
It was Arnold Baker leading the charge again.
Judson looks like they're going to force Churchill to pass the football. They've got their cornerbacks up close, and they're really forcing the line of scrimmage.
Ball is on the 43, 3rd down and 13 for Churchill now. No score, about 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Don Martin on the tackle that time.
Harold Huggins, the ball carrier. George, a pickup of about 4 yards, going to make it 4th and 9.
So we'll see McCampbell punting again.
Helicopters looming overhead as everybody wants to get a bird's eye view of what's happening here at Alamo Stadium.
8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Churchill's second punt. It's a high snap, but McCampbell handles it, boots it. Fair catch called for and taken by number 1, Chris Agisatellis of Judson. So put the ball on the 29-yard line.
Oh, we've had 2 offensive possessions by the Chargers coach, one by Judson. And I don't know, it appears that Churchill, anyway, is playing a little bit conservative to begin the ball game.
Yes, they are. I know they're trying to find a way to move that football and keep Baker out of their backfield to begin with.
Give it to Pryor that time. He's the fullback.
I can't even begin to tell you who made the tackle because there was about 6 or 7 of them around the ball carrier.
Yeah, we saw a lot of white and black on that.
Bustamante, Gallivan, and Heiser, those defensive ends will be very active this afternoon. You'll see them all over the field.
They give him a pickup of 2 on the play, so it's 2nd and 8. Ball is on the 31-yard line.
Had a quick peek at the sun, George.
This is usually the time that Frank tries to throw the football and tries to break that big play.
Alan Deere, the quarterback. Give is to J.J. Lewis around the right side.
Nice move.
Eludes 1 tackler, gets bumped out of bounds.
Nice move, George. Eluded that 1 tackler. It's going to be close for the first down. Looks like he's going to be short by about a half a yard or so.
Andy Swires on the tackle that time.
Here's the replay.
J.J., an outstanding breakaway type runner, Coach, isn't he?
Oh, yes. He's got, you know, the young man's just got quick feet. He's an excellent football player. Gets outside off that sweep, and you've got a lot of problems.
We're looking at a measurement here.
Dan Pollard and Andy Swires on the tackle again that time. Chains are out.
Where he went out, it appears that he's going to be short by about a half a yard. What would you expect if they are short, Coach? What would you expect coming up on 3rd and short?
I would expect Pryor, depending on how close it is, either Pryor or Deere carrying the ball himself. Frank really feels like that the Pryor youngster is an excellent football player and a power runner for him.
It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 38-yard line. Coach, you were saying that Pryor is possibly, well, I don't want to say a better runner than J.J. Lewis, but J.J. can thank a lot of his yards to how good Chris Pryor is.
That's exactly right, because people have learned that Chris is going to cause a great deal of problems for them, and they've had to sit inside, and that gives J.J. a chance to get outside.
They're in the eye. Give it to Pryor. He's got it.
And more.
He's got more.
Boy, he's got some.
Excellent running by Chris Pryor. Nice hole opened up by the Judson offensive line.
You know, that's
just about the midfield. We'll see the replay. Kevin Gallivan on the tackle that time.
Straight head-to-head blocking on that play, Coach. Nothing
right, it was. They like to run over the young man named Winton, right guard, the offensive guard or the strong guard. He's a small youngster, but very quick off the football.
And as you saw, Kevin Gallivan with a nice tackle. Here we go already. give is to J.J. trying to find some room on the outside, and he's brought down by number 34, Mike Carew, the right cornerback.
Mike played that one excellently, George. He contained him to the inside. J.J. still tried to elude him to the outside, but Mike made a fine play.
So we're
looking at second down, 13 yards to go for the Judson Rockets. Talking about second and long now, Coach. What do you expect? Do they go to the air?
Well, I think they probably will. Or at least they're in one of their, this doubles formation is one that they like to throw with.
Alton Martin split out to the right side.
There's a fumble on the play, and who has got it?
Looked like a Judson player might, but we'll see.
It looked like number 70 pounced on it for
William
the Rockets.
Galvan.
That's the one football play that Judson uses that everybody fears, and that's a sprint draw. When they'll fake the sprint out pass and give it to J.J. deep in the backfield, let him cut wherever he wants to.
I think Coach Kamelander came prepared for that one. They had it defensed beautifully. Third down, looks like we'll call it 11 yards to go. Maybe a little more than that.
And the ball on the Churchill 48. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Deere on the keep, gets a couple of yards, across the 50, down to maybe the 46, 47-yard line, brought down by Darrell Stewart, number 75. Stewart, the right tackle. We talk so much about quickness, Coach. The Judson people are very quick, but they're also stronger than a lot of people give them credit for, I think, don't you?
Oh, yes, George. They've got an excellent weight program and strength program there. Their football players are very strong. They believe in mobility and strength.
Ricky Balderas back to punt. Pretty good one. Fair catch called for. And drop. Scramble, and it's Judson's ball on the 15-yard line.
And George, that's what we talked about before. Is
number 40, Ricky May, coming up with a recovery for the Judson Rockets. And talk about your big plays. This is the kind of play, Coach, that can break a team's back early on.
Well, it's the kind of thing we were talking about looking for at the beginning of the ball game. Their kicking ball game is excellent, and they kicked it high and put a lot of pressure on a punt returner. I don't think anybody would like to be a punt returner.
Well, that wind swirling around, like you mentioned earlier, doesn't help the cause at all.
No, it doesn't. And you have time to think about your mother in the stands and everything else that's going on.
Judson.
It was John Wall who dropped the ball.
Unbalanced line for Judson. Judson's in an unbalanced line then and sent the tailback in motion to the weak side.
Judson's walking back as though the penalty is going to be against them. Illegal procedure called against the Rockets. It's going to cost them 5 yards. And yes, that's the kind of play that can just you get great field position. You're 1st and 10 inside your opponent's 20. All of a sudden, before you can take one snap, you have a penalty call, Coach.
Anytime that happens to you, you've just got to settle back down, and I'm sure they will, and come back with a good football play. They wanted to catch Churchill with their unbalanced line just then. At least it looked like to me that Frank was trying to get the play off real fast and do that. Watch for Eddie Nelson, number 85 here pretty quick. He's their tight end. He's an excellent athlete, and he'll drag across the field and catch the ball, I'm sure, sooner or later.
Handoff up the middle to Chris Pryor.
And he picked up a couple on that one. Brought down by Darrell Stewart and Neil McMaster. Stewart, the right tackle, McMaster, the linebacker.
He's going to bring up second down and about 8 from the Charger 13, make it 13.5-yard line.
Officially, they're calling it the 14. Alton Martin in the game, wide receiver on the far side. Actually, he's split out at end. J.J. Lewis in motion. He passes over to J.J., but it's a little too high. So, that will bring up a third down situation. Still 8, ball on the 13, 14-yard line.
They were looking for Nelson in the end zone then. They split the tight end out a little bit and tried to overload the one side of the football field with 3 receivers.
Just an indication of how well coached both of these schools are. Coach J.J. Lewis thought that could have been a lateral. Wasn't sure. Scrambled after the ball even though it fell incomplete until he saw the referee signal that it was incomplete.
That's correct. They work on that all the time, and they know exactly what they got to do.
We have a timeout, so there's a break in the action with the score. No score. We'll be back in just a minute.